Imagine you're a referee. You're tasked with maintaining clarity in the chaos and ensuring the fighters respect the rules and each other. As with any sport, you're often disliked as you get to make big decisions that often affect the outcome of a match. An MMA fight's intensity only raises tensions between the athletes and the referee. Sometimes verbal warnings aren't enough, and referees must take matters into their own hands. After knocking his opponent out, Nathias proceeds to get on top and ground and pound him. Referee Leon Roberts signals the fight is over and even tries to push him off his knocked out opponent, but Nathias didn't get the memo. As a last resort, he grabbed Nathias and rolled him off his opponent in what was probably one of the most remarkable displays of jiu-jitsu this century. After threatening to submit him, the fighter seemingly calmed down and peace was restored. However, referees don't always get the better of fighters. During a bout at Knockout Promotions, Rice Brink came into the fight like a bat out of hell and ended the fight in just 10 seconds after a barrage of vicious punches. It didn't take long for the referee to step in and stop the bout. Joseph Nem, still dazed and confused, didn't realize the fight was over and started grappling with the referee, proceeding to take his back and threaten a submission. Joseph's team jumped into the cage and pried their fighter off the referee. Upon realizing what he had just done, Nem apologized to the referee. The ref was understanding and held no ill will towards Nem. This referee was in no mood for any shenanigans that day. After being knocked down, the boxer immediately stood up and stuck his fist in the ref's face. Without hesitation, the referee grabbed the fighter and slammed him to the ground in what can only be described as something out of WWE. Chaos soon erupted in the ring, and the referee berated the disrespectful fighter. The boxer's team then calmed him, the boxer, and stopped him from doing anything stupid. After suffering a series of losses at the URCC, Razi Jabari's career was on the line. He would have to win this fight if he wanted a future in MMA. Unsurprisingly, throughout fight week, he was described as hostile and agitated. He ended up losing anyways via submission, however. Immediately after losing, he states he never tapped out and started arguing with the ref. Things went from 0 to 100 after Jabari started pushing the ref. The fighter was instantly taken down and submitted by an official. Although Jabari's reputation and career were ruined that night, he broke the world record for the number of taps in one night. In a more recent event, Ahmed Al-Darmaki submitted his opponent, but he held the choke for too long. Referee Mark Goddard had to intervene and physically pry the fighter's arms off his opponent's neck to release the choke. Mark Goddard begins to criticize the fighter's actions, but Ahmed, lacking any critical thinking skills, tries to push Goddard. Goddard doesn't budge, and Ahmed is disqualified on the spot. Dominick Cruz will forever be remembered as an MMA pioneer and one of the greatest, if not the greatest bantamweight to ever do it. He has only lost twice in the UFC, first experiencing defeat in the promotion at the hands of Cody Garbrandt via unanimous decision, then going on to lose his next fight to Henry Cejudo via TKO, with the latter stirring up a bit of controversy. Cruz disagreed with ref Keith Peterson's stoppage and said his breath reeked of cigarettes and alcohol.
My experience of him was smelling like he had been out all night the night before, like cigarettes and alcohol. And he could not make eye contact with me. I have never in 25 fights had a referee that could not make eye contact with me before a fight.
In later interviews, the former bantamweight champ would continue to criticize Keith Peterson's stoppage, claiming he should have been drug tested before the bout, as he doesn't feel safe with him as a referee. Iron Mike Tyson is undoubtedly one of the most ferocious and violent boxers ever. His fight against Luis Savarse was short, knocking him down in the first minute of the first round. Lucevarse quickly got up, but was unprepared for Tyson's barrage of punches. Referee John Coyle attempted to stop the fight by getting in between the two, but Tyson continued hammering away at Savarse, knocking Coyle down in the process. After several attempts to separate Tyson from his defenseless opponent, Mike finally snapped out of his violent trance. He was awarded a TKO victory and gave one of his famous post-fight interviews, infamously expressing he wanted to eat Lennox Lewis's children.
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
The British Boxing Board of Control fined Mike Tyson a whopping £125,000 sterling. For many of us, Conor McGregor's unique personality and emphatic performances made us fall in love with the sport of MMA. Although he is credited for turning MMA into the fastest growing sport today, his career outside the cage is plagued by controversy. While celebrating his teammate's victory during a Bellator event, the Irishman jumped into the cage and embraced his teammate, knocking him to the ground. Mark Goddard tries to pull the teammate to the center of the stage to announce the winner. McGregor was unhappy. After yanking away a few officials, the Irish superstar ran over to Goddard and pushed him, and in turn, he bumped into a concussed Redmond, knocking him over. It doesn't end there. McGregor does a victory lap, climbs up on the fence, an official tried to pull him down, but got slapped in the process. In one of the most shocking events in MMA, not only did Teiko Shina strike his opponent after the bell, but the referee as well. Teiko Shina knocked his opponent out and continued to get on top of him, throwing a flurry of unanswered shots. The referee jumped in between them in an attempt to stop the fight, but this attempt proved ineffective as Teiko Shina started wailing bombs at the referee, injuring him. The fighters' teams had to jump into the cage to subdue Sheena, while the loser and ref were still lying on the canvas. A barely conscious fighter attempts a double leg on the referee after being knocked down by a massive right hand. The referee showcased a fantastic take-it-down defense and resorted to choking the fighter out with a standing guillotine, and the fighter was held upright by his coaches. If you enjoyed this, make sure to let us know by leaving a like and subscribing to our channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.